Hey guys, today we're gonna make Flappy Bird game. Okay, so when you open up Unity, your I think the project folder will be over here, but you can toggle it wherever you want. I'm just toggling it to the bottom. Okay, so this is game view where your game will be played, and this is the scene view where you can drag move the object, and this is hierarchy where you gonna attach or reattach the game objects. And over here in the project panel you can see assets. Here what you can do, just one thing you can. So we're gonna do right click, create folder. We're gonna name it sprites. Okay, we're gonna name it sprites, cause we're gonna play drag the image of bird all of the environment over here. So I'm gonna just, I already have them, I'm just dragging them. You can look around. Okay, so I al- I uploaded them on the sprites as sprite folder. So now what you can do, and this is main camera. Okay, main camera. Okay, this is main camera. Over here, inspector, you can change setting on main camera, whatever you can do. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna select the bird, or any of them you can select and drag that onto hierarchy. Okay, drag that onto hierarchy. If it's look like small, what you should do, just select that image, go to filter mode, change to point no filter, and compression to none. Okay, and then pixel per unit, the the smaller the you can do it 32, so it will be bigger. So now just you have to just apply. Okay, apply. Oh, it not having, so select, I'm just selecting all of them. Shift plus left of your mouse button, select all of them, go to pixel per unit, set them to 32. Okay, set them to 32, and filter mode should be point no filter, and compression should be none. Okay, and then apply. Okay, now you will able to see the player, as say the bird. Okay, so select the bird. This is move tool. You can move in the y direction, you can move in the x direction. You can rotate. Okay, you can rotate, you can stretch with these tools. Okay, uh, and whatever you can do. So if you mess around with this thing, so just select that and go to transform component and right click and reset, so it will reset all the position to 0 0. So in unity this is 0 comma 0 comma 0. Okay, this is 0 comma 0 comma 0. Okay, so what we can do, so we will add gravity to this bird. Okay, so gravity to this bird. So you have to add rigid body 2D is responsible for adding gravity to this object. So we need to add rigid body 2D, which will add gravity to the bird. Okay, so select that bird. Okay, select that bird and add component over here. Find rigid body 2D. Okay, rigid body 2D. Okay, rigid body 2D. You can see here mass and the gravity scale. Gravity scale means the amount he will fall down. Okay, so if I now play, and this is the game scene, the your game will look like over here, and this is the scene view. Okay, we can we can move or anything we can do in this scene view. As you can see, it's fall down because of rigid body. We added rigid body, and rigid body is responsible for adding gravity. Okay, so it's falling down. what we want to do, if we press on the keyboard spacebar, okay, if we press on the keyboard spacebar, it should jump, okay. So what we need to do, we need a negative force, okay, we need a negative force against the gravity, so it will jump, okay. So to achieve that, we need is we're gonna make a script, okay, we're gonna make a script. So select that bar, add component, and name firstly select that bar and name it player or whatever you gonna name it. I'm going to name it player, okay. I name it player, and now I'm just going to select that and going to select going to add component. I am going to create player script. So you you can name it whatever you can, so I just name it player. So after that, just go to new script and then create an ad, okay, just create an ad. So it will create a, double click it to open up in Visual Studio, double click it, okay. So as you can see, public class player. uh, what uh, what what is a class, or what does this mean? So let's imagine you're gonna make a house. What you do first? You design the house, right? You design where your window should be, where you gonna put the kitchen room, where your where your bedroom will be. All of these things you decide on a paper or design, right? So the design is the class, and the actual house what you made is the object. As it is over here, the class player, we're gonna define or define some attributes to do, the player will do, okay, the player will do. And the play and the player, when after that we will make the player, so that will be the object. Over here you can see the start. This is a function. This function automatically get called by Unity, and this also the update function get automatically called by Unity, okay. The start function calls one time, okay, when the game start, it's just call that time just one time. And the update and the update function calls every time, each frame. This run in 1 second, this pass 60 frames in 1 second, this pass 60 frames, you can imagine, okay. So if I head back to Unity, so we added gravity to this bird, right? We need a negative force. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna access the rigid body, and and the velocity of that rigid body. We're gonna set to y direction, some unit, okay. So if we head back to Unity, so we need a reference of that rigid body. So we're gonna create rigid body 2D, okay, rigid body 2D, okay. And then we're gonna call it RB, okay. So we are putting this rigid body into this RB, okay. Okay, so also if we control S on your keyboard, it will save your whatever you write, okay. Control S. So if I head back to Unity, by default, if you go, we didn't say we didn't we didn't made it private or public. By default, it's became private if if you do nothing there, okay. So if I just compiling, the script is compiling, just wait for bit amount of time. So as you can see, we cannot see the slot over here, because it's if you do nothing there, it will be private. So we need to make it public, okay. Then control S on your keyboard to save that progress. If you go back to Unity, you will able to see the slot over here, rigid body slot, okay. Rigid body slot over here, you will able to see that. So wait for compiling it. As you can see, RB, then here is none. Okay, so what we can do, when we gonna drag that into that slot. Now we have a link. Now we have a link. Now we can set up set up whatever we want. Okay, so double click it to open up in Visual Studio. Okay, so in the update function we're gonna do that, because this one run 60 times in 1 second, and sorry, in 1 second this run as 60 times run. Okay, so we're gonna do in if condition. If condition, if, so what is if condition? Okay, firstly, if condition in the parenthesis whatever you put, it should be true. Like 3 is greater than 2. Is it true? Yes, it's definitely true. 3 is greater than 2. And what you can do, uh, if then 2 equals to 2, this is also true. Okay, this is also true. And you have to make curly brackets. Okay, you have to make curly brackets. So if this condition is true, whatever you write in between this curly braces bracket, okay, curly bracket, it will happen. Okay, it will execute. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna check input dot get key. Okay, get key, we are checking all of the key, and key code into parenthesis, key code, sorry, key code dot space. Okay, key code dot space means, in if we are pressing the space key. Okay, if we are pressing input, we are getting all of the inputs. If and the key code is space, means we are pressing the space key. What we gonna do, we're gonna add a negative force to the y direction, right? We're gonna add a negative force to the y direction. So we can do because we have a rigid body. Okay, so what we gonna do, RB, so we are going to RB dot add force. Okay, add force, we don't want to add force to the x direction. We only want to add force to the y direction. What we gonna do, we're gonna make a vector2 dot up. Okay, vector2 dot up, what does this means? It means 0 in the x. Okay, the x, 0 in the x, y in the 1. Okay, y in the 1, 0 in the x. So okay, vector2 dot up. And so also you have to add, so we need to multiply by with some numbers, because this if we do, it will just jump about this much. Okay, 1, because it once. So what we gonna do, we're gonna make a variable. What is a variable? Variable is like a container where you put values. Okay, so we're gonna make a float variable. Okay, float, let's suppose we gonna call it jump height. You can name it whatever you want. Okay, jump height. We also need to set to public, so we can set it to inspector, right? We we don't need to come over again in this script, so we're gonna make it public. Okay, so it will show in inspector. Okay, so by default we gonna jump, let's say for 8 unit. You also have to put f, because it float. Okay, because it float, it, you also have to add f. So we're gonna multiply by this jump height. Okay, jump height, and then you have to do comma. Sorry, you have to do comma, because for you have to add force mode 2d dot impulse, because it is a force. Okay, and then and then end up with semicolon. Okay, so what will be this one? this one will be so vector 1 in the y direction, so this will be 8 unit in the y direction. Okay, let's check that. To set this, you have to just control S on your keyboard, it will save. So head back to Unity, head back to Unity, head back to Unity, and you will able to see the jump height variable over here. Okay, jump height, as you can see, we set it by default 8. We can set it to like 10 or 9, so this is pretty helpful. Let's say, let's suppose we're gonna set it to let's suppose leave that to 8. Okay, so now if I play the game, if I play the game we will if I play the game, and if we press the space key, it should jump. uh, as you can see, I press the space key and he jumps. Okay, and you thinking that is too much, right? We're gonna still make it little. Okay, uh, so uh, so I'm gonna unplay this. So as you can see, we added the force to the y direction. Okay, so how we did it, we stored it this rigid body into this RB. Okay, we stored it this rigid body into this RB, and then RB dot and then going to RB component, and then adding force to the y direction. Okay, that's it for this video. In the next video, we're gonna make some pipes and the ground scrolling. Okay, thanks for watching.